I remember taking car rides out there with you to go pick her up. And let's see, I remember going to the courthouse when, you know, me, you, and a few of the other guys and everybody drove down there, and I don't know, they wouldn't let me say my piece, I guess, but man, I forget what exactly happened because I can't really recall, but I know that was hard on you. But I remember the most important thing that I remember is that Father's Day that you spent. I remember you sitting at the kitchen table trying to call and calling quite a few times probably. But I remember you never got a response, and I remember how much that hurt you and stuff like that. And that actually like made me feel bad too because I could see it, and it was just like that was not, that's something that you never want to see. But also, I know that was important to you. But yeah, I remember her coming around, having her little cute dresses on and hanging out and having a blast, and I know that she was the number one thing in your life. I remember, taking that drive back from wherever it was, D.C., I think, or Washington, and then, we hung out. We had a good car ride, and I remember I don't know if this is, but one of the tires blew out. I remember the first thing you thought about, well, I never would have seen anybody else react as quick as you did. But you already had your whole train of thought and knew exactly what you were going to do, and, the number one thing, which was Haley, and you said that you were going to jump back there and hold on for life, and try and shield her from everything, which was like, and I knew you would do that too, which is crazy because, like that one time I showed you, about the motorcycles and stuff, and I gave you a pointer like to jump on your back and kind of like you said, turtle up, and I know you did it too, and I know that helped in that situation, but I know that you always have like a backup plan or something like that, and I know that you were ready for it, and that the most important thing in that backup plan was to keep Haley safe. So I know that she's the most important thing in your life, and I remember her having a blast when her friends would come over and hang out at the house and stuff, and we would stay up all night or like, pretty late, even though, those kids were going crazy. They were having too much fun, but yeah. So, I mean, we had a lot of good times, and it's a shame that you don't really get to talk to her, like get to, enjoy the little things in life, even though, I don't know. But, you should have...
Well, see, this is also going to help authorize me and her to have a relationship later in life, because she'll get to find out the truth, that Daddy never just up and left and blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
That I'm sitting down here sweating and suffering that I don't get to talk to her,
Yeah. Yeah.
So... Well, hey, man, do you remember that time we went to pick Haley up and she came out crying because they were messing with her head?
I think what happened, you were, we went to pick her up, and they said something about, like, they were going to take her to a pool or have some kind of a good time, and instead she got stuck having to go with you and me. Something like that, right? I forget what they were saying to her, but you said...
Yeah, but remember Yeah, so saying complete sentences how she came out of the house already crying at 7 a.m. because they woke her up and said that to her.
Yeah. So like I was saying, I remember like when we went down there, we were trying to pick her up, and she was already crying and all that stuff because we were ready to take off, and I guess they had woken her up and told her that, they had all these good things and like a pool or like a good play days planned for her, but instead she had to go hang out with us and, make that long drive down to hang out with Dad and all that stuff instead of, go and have a good time and blah, 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 It's kind of just messed up for like a young girl like that. Of course, she wants to just go hang out instead of take a car ride to, spend time with the people that care about her.
Yeah. Say that one more time. you said that
I wanted to gather my thoughts, but yeah, I'll try and word it better.
No, my fault, dude. Take a minute. We got time.
What, I forget what they told her they wanted to take her to do or something. I know exactly what you're talking about.
We showed up at 7 a.m. Like, we woke up at like, what the hell was it? Like 4 in the morning or something, to make sure we were there at 7. Because her mom had messed with me on the planning, and she's like, oh, okay, well, you know what? You need to be here at 7 a.m. Full knowing that coming from Philly, we would have to be there, you know. Did we crash at my dad's apartment? I forgot what we did, but we actually...
that's when we crashed at your dad's spot.
Yeah, so we actually crashed at his place. We drove down the night before. We crashed there so we'd be able to get there on time. And that's not a quarter to time. That's not the pickup time, 7 a.m. But, you know, she always just wants to make it as difficult as possible. So, and I just always just say okay, because there's no point, you know. All right, whatever. I don't care. You're not hurting me. You know, we'll work around your stupidity, right? But anyway, yeah. So we crashed in my dad's. Then we actually got there at 7 a.m. And then when we got there at 7 a.m., she comes out crying because they woke her up and said, well, we were going to take you to the pool and this and this and that, but instead your daddy's here to get you. When they knew I was coming to get you. I mean, this was all planned. Yeah. So they did this extra little thing to kind of like traumatize her to make you actually were the one who said that to me. You understood at the time more than I did. You were like you know, this. You said something about a lollipop. I don't know if that means anything to you. I forgot what you said, but you were like, you were like, you know, what they're doing is they're trying to traumatize. They're trying to say, they're trying to make her feel like going with that. They're trying to
kind of put like a bad taste or something.
Yeah, they're trying to associate going with daddy as a terrible. You know, they're associating going with. They're purposely trying to make the go with daddy experience be a bad one. You know.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I remember.
It's exactly what they do all the time.
Yeah.
You know, this is actually one of the rare occasions where I have an eyewitness, you know, because most of the time I was down there in the Lincoln by myself. They didn't realize I was going to be with you.
All right. I kind of have it better. I remember a little bit more now. So I remember when we stayed. Yeah, we stayed down at your dad's house so we could make it there real early in the morning for the to pick up Haley. And then, when we pulled up, she was crying and talking about how they woke her up and told her that they wanted to take her to the pool and do all this cool stuff. And instead, she had to go home, or she had to go hop in the car for a 3-hour drive, and she wouldn't be able to go to the pool and hang out with all those her friends and stuff. And then it kind of just reminded me of, like, you know, at my old work, to cut hair, when we used to have the little kid, you know, and kind of at the end of the haircut, we would give a lollipop, you know, and be like, all right, we'll see you next time, we'll have your lollipop ready or whatever. And, which, you know, then they're like, all right, yeah, I love my lollipops, like, I'll be back next time and I'll do a good job for you. And it kind of reminds me of, like, when they were telling her that they're going to take her to the pool and all this stuff, but instead of going and having a good time, she has to go, you know, spend time with her dad, who drove like 3 hours every time, like at least once a week to go see her or something like that, you know, and then and pick her up at 7 in the morning from a 3-hour drive or whatever it is. So, you know, it just kind of it kind of associates and helps her. Not that it's a professional opinion or whatever, but I'm sure, like, after a while of just being told that she was going to go to the pool that day or something like that, she has to go somewhere else, you know, and hop in the car for 3 hours so she can spend time with her dad, which, like, when you're that young doesn't seem, you know, very much fun because you got the pool hanging over your head, and instead, you know, dad's driving 3 hours one way just to go hang out, you know, so for us it was worth it, but for her, she's missing out on the pool all day, you know, and it just kind of associates, you know, it's a bad association when they're telling her that she could go do all crazy kind of good stuff, and instead, you know, they're making it seem like hanging out with dad is not what she wants to do. which is, kind of messed up. And, it should be a happy thing, and instead they're telling her, instead of having good times, you're going to go hang out with Dad, which is not cool.
Right. Yeah, totally. No, that was well said, man.
Like the effort, yeah, exactly. I remember a little bit about what I said, but I don't know.
Yeah, I know, that was cool. That was the lollipop story you said. Yeah, I remember it was something lollipop, but I didn't remember.
But yeah, man. If I can help anymore, like if you can shoot me a text or something, I'll try and put some more of the.
No, actually, I got a couple questions. I'm just gonna ask you real quick. These are just like standard. How much time do you think you saw me and Haley spend? Are you there?
Yeah. Sorry, you cut off a little bit.
Oh, okay. How much time did you witness? I mean, how many hours were you around me and Haley for? Do you think total?
Oh man, how many hours? Man, I have no idea. Well, I mean,
or days. I mean, all together in one. Like, would you say you've spent all added up probably 3 or 4 weeks with us?
Probably
if
all added up. Maybe 2 weeks?
Something like that total.
Maybe.
Yeah, and in that time, did you ever hear me badmouthing Haley's mom to her?
No, I never heard you really badmouthing. I heard you venting to me about it, but not towards Haley. Like, of course you're gonna be frustrated, and like, with all the, stuff that goes on, behind the scenes, and like, with her, if you make a 3-hour drive and you run into traffic or something, and then you're a couple minutes late and she has cops like ready to tell you that you can't hang out with your baby because, of traffic or some crap, then of course you're gonna vent to me and you're gonna be like, that kind of messed up or whatever. But no, I never really saw you tell Haley like anything bad, like,
yeah, like am I the type of person
her mom?
Am I the type of person that would discuss any kind of problems that I have with her mom with her?
Nah, because I think that you realize that, like, the adult conversations stay with the adults, and she's just a kid. She's not going to be like...
Yeah, exactly.
She's not really going to have a better outlook than you, so there's no reason to, So I'm sure you know...
Yeah, did you feel like cuz we lived together for a while, and did you feel like the whole situation was giving me like a pretty extreme depression?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. And I know you had trouble sleeping at night, and I know sometimes I used to have trouble sleeping at night, and most of the time it's because you can't stop thinking about all the, stuff that you have going on around you. So I know, like,